Welcome to Quicksand, the most important news in pharma and biotech this week. As patient experiences provide new insights for FDA reviewers, the agency is looking for feedback on how to better coordinate clinical outcome assessments, or COAs, across different disease types. Since 2012, FDA has conducted patient-focused meetings in different disease areas to hear directly from patients about the impact of disease on their daily life and the burden of current treatments. But separate independent efforts by different patient advocacy groups and drug sponsors within and across disease areas are resulting in a diversity of measures and proprietary COA tools, FDA explains. Repeated significant startup costs and varying levels of experience among sponsors, advocacy groups, and the consultants they may engage may lead to variable quality in the resulting COA-related endpoints, the agency said. Now, FDA is interested in identifying the diseases and treatment impacts that matter most to the people living with the disease or condition. FDA is not only interested in the high-level concepts related to those impacts, but also interested in the set of specific measures and tools and exact endpoints that are proposed to be used for a given disease, the agency said. The agency lays out 14 different questions with specifics on developing COAs. Those interested in offering comments have until October 15th. The FDA drafted new guidance to offer recommendations on the nonclinical information necessary to support the development and approval of orally inhaled nicotine-containing drug products intended for smoking cessation. The 12-page draft focuses on novel components of the drug formulation, novel chemicals generated from any component of the formulation by the delivery system, and novel impurities from the drug formulation and delivery system. An adequate nonclinical assessment can address the potential toxicity of chemicals from orally inhaled nicotine-containing drug products, the draft says. Some of these products have already been associated with toxicity concerns. The draft also focuses on different types of toxicology studies, including developmental and reproductive toxicology and genetic toxicology. A second draft guidance is coming out this fall, the agency noted, to help lay out a framework for new potential clinically relevant outcomes for smoking cessation products, such as reducing the chance of a smoker going back to using cigarettes long-term and showing a positive impact on certain measures of cardiovascular health. The FDA and European Medicines Agency will hold a workshop on early access approaches, including prime and breakthrough designations, on November 26th at the EMA headquarters in London. EMA said the aim of the workshop is for regulators and industry to discuss technical quality challenges and scientific and regulatory approaches that could be used to facilitate development and preparation of robust CMC data packages as part of these expedited programs. Since the PRIME designation launched in March 2016, EMA says it has granted eligibility to 36 programs, 30 of which are for rare diseases and 19 of which are in oncology or hematology. Meanwhile, a review of all therapeutics receiving a breakthrough designation in the U.S. and approved from 2012 to 2017 found a lack of randomization, double-blinding, and control groups in pivotal trials supporting approval, a research letter published earlier this month in JAMA found. The workshop will include specific industry case studies covering chemical molecules, biologicals, and advanced therapy medicinal products, and a discussion of experiences to date from early access approaches. The conclusions from the workshop will be captured in a report that will be published. The EMA says it will further scale back operations as staff who do not intend to relocate to Amsterdam next year begin to depart the agency. EMA says it now expects to lose 30% of its staff ahead of the move and is uncertain about midterm staff retention once it begins operations in Amsterdam. A survey of EMA staff conducted ahead of the European Council's vote to determine the agency's new home found that Amsterdam was the most favored location by staff, with only 19% reporting they would not relocate with the agency. Due to employment rules in the Netherlands, EMA says it will not be able to bring some 135 short-term contract employees with it in the move. Bracing for the departures, EMA says it has launched a comprehensive staff recruitment program, but in the near term will have to reprioritize its resources to fully maintain its core activities, such as reviewing marketing authorization applications and overseeing safety surveillance. On an international level, the agency will continue to focus on product-specific issues and will still carry out Article 58 procedures, but will reduce its role in harmonization efforts and take on other global public health issues on a case-by-case basis. EMA will also halt the publication and revision of guidelines except those that address an urgent public or animal health need, or that directly relate to Brexit. Similarly, the agency will limit itself from organizing and attending stakeholder meetings that are not related to Brexit or its relocation. EMA also says it will stop launching new procedures related to clinical data publication as of August, but will process all data packages submitted through July 2018. The United Kingdom is set to reschedule cannabis-derived medicinal products. The changes will free senior clinicians from the need to apply to an independent expert panel to prescribe medicines, potentially simplifying and expanding access. Under the current system, senior clinicians can access medicinal cannabis for their patients but must go through a bureaucratic process to do so. The process was criticized following reports of children with refractory epilepsy who were unable to access cannabis-derived products despite cannabis oil appearing to ease their symptoms. That backlash led to a review of whether cannabis should retain its Schedule I status, which is reserved for drugs with no therapeutic value. The first part of the two-step review found evidence that medicinal cannabis has therapeutic benefits. That done, the Advisory Council on the Misuse of Drugs assessed the harms and benefits of medicinal cannabis, going on to conclude such products belong in Schedule II. The rescheduling is set to take place later this year. Ahead of the change, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency and the Department for Health and Social Care will develop a clear definition of cannabis-derived medicinal product. That definition will inform the rescheduling and ensure only forms of cannabis deemed to have therapeutic value become available on prescription. The UK expects to complete the process in the fall. Until then, senior clinicians can apply to access the products via the independent expert panel without paying the typical fees. The UK is also waiving the fees for applications already granted by the panel. Thank you for listening to Quicksand, episode 41, August 6, 2018.